Hi, my dear friends. My greetings once again to all of you today through this video. I believe today is going good with you. My dear subscribers, viewers, and friends, I know very well that you are trying your best to improve your communicative skills in English language. You are trying your best to improve your spoken English. You are indeed sincerely learning how to speak effectively in English language. Thank you for doing so. When you are sincerely trying to improve your speaking skill in English language, it's also good for you to know the various methods of speech delivery. My dear friends, we have 4 basic methods of speech delivery. Have you heard of them? Basically, we have 4 different ways or types or methods of our speech delivery to our audience. They are manuscript speech delivery, memorized speech delivery, impromptu speech delivery, and extemporaneous speech delivery. These are the 4 basic methods of speech delivery. And in our today's class, we are going to learn about manuscript speech delivery in detail. Do you want to learn about it? Are you interested in knowing manuscript method of speech? You are trying your best to improve your speaking skill in English language, right? Not only in English language. You may be trying to develop your oratory skill in speaking in your mother tongue also sometimes. Whatever the language may be, but these are the 4 basic methods of our speech delivery. Among these 4, we are going to see about manuscript speech delivery method in detail today in our class. If you are interested, please join me and be till the end with me, and you will truly find it useful. Thank you for being with me till the end. By the way, my dear viewers, in case you're watching this video for the first time in my channel, kindly subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon, choose the option all, so that every video that I publish will be notified to you. Thank you for your support. Let's now see what is manuscript method of speech delivery. Look at the screen. It's a speech delivery method where the speaker reads a script verbatim. Every word, every sentence, and every paragraph in his speech is carefully crafted ahead of the actual time of the speech. My dear friends, you might have seen some people when they speak being on the stage, they will be reading from a paper. Have you noticed? That's what called manuscript speech. They prepare their speech well in advance. They write it carefully, craft it carefully according to the need of the speech, including all the points that are required to be included. That's what we saw, carefully crafted. And then they bring the paper or they bring their laptop or tab and they read from their laptop, from their tab, or from their paper when they speak to their audience. That's what called manuscript speech. Now do you understand what manuscript speech method is? Very good. Now we are going to see about it in detail. Let's see now how to deliver an engaging manuscript speech. How to deliver an interesting manuscript speech. Engaging manuscript speech. Sometimes, my dear friends, when your audience know that you are just reading from a paper or from your laptop, they may lose interest in listening to your speech. So you need to make your manuscript speech engaging to them. How to do that? We have some 5 ways through which you can attract your audience when you speak to them in this method. 1. Practice. If you are going to address to your audience through this method of speech delivery, then my dear friends, practice well in advance. You need practice. You need to practice your speech well in advance. When you read and see, you will know how to improve your pronunciation of certain words. You will know where to stop and where to start. You will know where to pause and where to continue. So you need practice. Practice. My dear friends, you will also know the exact content of your speech, and you know where to increase your tone and where to decrease your tone in order to keep your speech in a good rhythm. So, my dear friends, practice is important. If you are preparing for a manuscript speech, it's good to practice very well before the time. Number 2, vary your tone and pace. What is to vary your tone? Change the tone of your speech. When you are speaking, definitely you will be looking at your audience, sometimes at least, right? When you look at your audience face, you will know whether they are interested in listening to you or they lost their interest. So according to their mood, you can increase the tone of your sound or you can decrease the tone of your sound to maintain your speech in a good rhythm. Maintaining your speech in a good rhythm is called maintaining the pace of your speech. So vary your tone refers to increase and decrease of your tone. The pattern of your intonation, modulation should be maintained in order to make your audience be interested in listening to your speech. Got it? So maintain a good rhythm, good pace, so that your speech will be interesting to your audience. The third point is, you may use visual aids. Visual aids. What is visual aids? You may use slides, you may use charts so that you can reduce your audience looking at your face always. They know you are reading already. They may lose interest. So in order to stop them from losing their interest, you may simultaneously use charts and slides during your speech in order to make them watch your slides and charts so that your speech is going in an interesting way. So use some visual aids. Number 4, engage with the audience. Engage with your audience. This is very important, my dear friends. You know why? Without looking at your audience, if you speak, it will look like you are speaking to the wall. You are speaking to human beings who can hear your speech, who can watch you, who can watch your face. So, my dear friends, we need to have eye-to-eye contact with our audience. That's what called engage with your audience. You look at your audience, know their mood, and according to their mood, you can modify your speech. Your voice modulation can be adjusted. And that's how you can make your speech interesting. So we need to look at our audience and speak at least in a regular interval. I know you are reading. Everybody knows you are reading. But at the same time, even though you are reading from a paper, it's good to keep in touch with your audience through your eye contact. Got it? So engage with your audience actively, even though you are reading. Point number 5 is you may use teleprompters. What are teleprompters? You might be knowing about them. If you use teleprompters, you will look like that you are standing naturally in front of your audience because you don't look at the paper always. There is no paper in your hand. There is no laptop in your hand. You are using a teleprompter. So your eye contact will be directly on the teleprompter, which might be placed in front of you. So casually you can look at your audience. You can have eye-to-eye contact frequently with your audience. You may look natural. Though your speech is manuscript, you will look naturally speaking. So my dear friends, use teleprompters if possible, if your speech is going to be based on manuscript speech delivery. So in these 5 ways, you can make your manuscript speech method interesting and engaging to your audience. Got it? So now let's see when to use a manuscript speech. We cannot use this manuscript speech all the time. We have certain time to go for manuscript speech, right? So when to use a manuscript speech? Look at those 3 occasions. 1, during official meetings. If there is an official meeting, official presentation, then you can go for manuscript speech because your speech is going to be very precise, to the point, and you know the time that is given to you, and within that time limit you have to end up your speech So accordingly, you will prepare, and you know your audience who will be sitting and watching or listening to your speech. According to their ability, you can prepare your speech by using sophisticated language. So, my dear friends, official meetings will generally expect you to produce a manuscript speech. And number two, high stakes events. During high stakes events, you can also go for manuscript speech. What are those events? For example, award ceremonies, graduation ceremonies, conferences, public announcements. These are all some of the examples for high stakes events. During these types of high stakes events, you can go for manuscript speech. Once again, because you know what you are going to speak, what you are expected to speak. The topic will be given to you. The purpose of the speech will be intimated to you. So naturally, depending on the purpose and the topic, depending on the audience to whom you are going to address, you can prepare your manuscript speech. So during high stakes events, you can use manuscript speech. You are allowed to read from a paper. You are allowed to read from a teleprompter during such events. And number three, you can also go for manuscript speech during historical addresses. If your address is going to be historical, you can go for manuscript speech because there is nothing to add or delete. You're going to deliver the exact history of an event. So it's going to be just narrative. You're going to talk to them about the truth in the history. So during historical addresses, you can use manuscript speech. So these are the different occasions in which you are allowed to go for manuscript speech. Let's see the advantages of manuscript speech and the disadvantages of manuscript speech now. Advantages of manuscript speech. Number one, precise messaging. Precise message means the message that is spoken to the point. It's not going around the bush. You are to the point. You are talking about what is required from you. You know what you are talking about. You know what is the occasion that you are talking in. You know who are the audience to whom you speak to. So your message is going to be depending on all these things precisely. So the speech will be very precise, and the message you deliver through this manuscript speech will be to the point. It's really an advantage of manuscript speech to be to the point. Then you can also maintain your time management. During manuscript speech, because manuscript speech is mostly done during official meetings, high stakes events, and historical addresses, the time limit also will be given to you. Sometimes you hear the speakers say I have been given just a very little time. They have given me only 30 minutes to speak. So I have to end my speech in 30 minutes. So let me be brief in my speech. Like that, they will just say and start speaking. Have you heard them say like that? Yes, the time limit will be given to you, and you can manage your speech within that time limit. And you can finish your speech so that you will not make your audience also feel bored. They will be interested to listen to you because they know that you're going to speak only for a certain time limit. So these are all some advantages of manuscript speech. And what are the disadvantages of manuscript speech? 1. Engagement issues. Engagement is issues. Since you are reading from a paper or from a teleprompter, my dear friends, you may not be looking at your audience frequently. You will not be keeping touch with your audience frequently. So that's how you will not engage your audience actively in your speech. See, when we speak to someone, my dear friend, we need to look at him and speak. We cannot look at somewhere else and speak. It will show that as if we don't respect the person to whom we speak, if we don't look at his face. Right? So whenever we speak to someone, whether he is a single person or a group of people, we need to look at their faces. We need to face them directly and speak to them so that it will look like we respect them. We look like we want to talk to them. We look like we respect their feelings. We look like we will be responding to them if at all they ask any question to us. So my dear friends, that's how we may lose engaging ourselves with our audience directly in manuscript speech. This is really a disadvantage in manuscript speech. Number 2, lack of flexibility. Lack of flexibility. What is lack of flexibility? Here in manuscript speech, you are just going to read whatever is written already. You are not going to add anything extra when you are speaking. Just you are reading. So there is no any flexibility. You are not allowed to express your own ideas freely. You will be fixed to the written text. Right? So there is no any flexibility in manuscript speech. Whereas in impromptu speech, you will freely speak because you're going to speak on the spot. The topic will be given on the spot, or you may be asked to speak on the spot. And whatever you think about that topic, you will be freely talking. You will be flexible there. But here in manuscript speech, there is no flexibility. You need to put yourself within the context and the text that is written on the paper. Right? Good. Number 3, you will sound scripted. You will sound scripted. As we have seen already, our audience will easily know that we are just reading from a paper. And we cannot say anything more than what's written in the paper. Whatever the script is crafted in our paper, That's what we are going to read. We are not going to produce any more new words and sentences and paragraphs to make the audience feel that we are on our own. We cannot be our own. So we will look like we are plainly reading. So the sound we produce when we read the script from a paper will sound like scripted. Got it? So these are all some of the disadvantages of manuscript speech. I hope you have followed me in this class. My dear friends, we have seen what are the 4 basic methods of speech delivery: manuscript, memorized, impromptu, and extemporaneous. We have also seen what is it called manuscript speech. We have seen how to make our manuscript speech engaging. We have also seen when to use manuscript speech. And finally, we have also discussed on the advantages and disadvantages of manuscript speech. I believe this class was useful to you. In our next classes, we will see the other 3 methods of speech delivery. If you are interested, you can join me in my other classes also. You're welcome. I produce these videos just to provide you with some good information about improving your communicative skills. So continue watching my videos, and especially I thank you for watching this particular video with me till the end. Thank you, my dear subscribers, viewers and friends, for watching this video. And we will meet in our next video. Until then, I wish you all a good day. Bye-bye.